In the last episode, we arrived at the moment when the body could no longer respond, yet awareness remained. Take us into your coma.
It was a sensation that I still felt like I was there. People were around me. There was one particular story that I think helped me survive and got me through this whole experience. There was a little boy that was lying right next to me. He was 6 years old. He would connect our tubes together. The day that I woke up is the day that he never came back.
And what else did you experience while you were in the coma?
It was really strange because it was these body bags that were going in and out, in and out.
Take us to the moment when you started actually bringing yourself out of your coma. Hi, souls. Welcome back to Story Time. In the last episode, we arrived at the moment when the body could no longer respond, yet awareness remained. Because what Samara experienced in that space wasn't empty. There was awareness. There was experience. There were images, sensations, a sense of presence. All of it was appearing without the body needing to move. And that begins to shift how we understand who we are. Hi, souls. Welcome back to Inner Library Alignment. I'm Rachel Golden, and together we transform the stories that no longer serve us so we can reveal our true nature through conscious authorship. This is a space where we recognize that we are not the stories we've been living inside, but the awareness in which those stories appear. I'm here again with Samara Chambers, whose experience invites us to explore what it means to be conscious, even when the body is completely still. Samara, thank you for being here again. Thank you for joining us today. Samara, in the last episode, or the last chapter, we left off when your body went quiet. And just take a moment to take us into your coma.
Okay, this is a big one. So I went into my coma and it was a sensation that I still felt like I was there. People were around me. I was imagining things that could be happening as well. Something that I will never forget is there was one particular story that I think helped me survive and got me through this whole experience.
I'm just curious, did you have a sense of time?
So this is the time that I was now in my induced coma. And during that time, I was in a room, maybe just like this, and my bed was just a typical bed from what I thought. And there was a little boy that was lying right next to me. And he was anorexic. He was 6 years old. He had brown hair, brown eyes, and he just seemed like a typical boy. The one connection that him and I had was he also had tubes, and so did I. So I found him very frustrating because what would happen is he would be there sometimes and then he would leave. And being a 6-year-old boy, I always imagined that he was going to school. Once he had finished school, he would come back, he would lie down again, have all his wires in, he would connect our tubes together. And this is how I knew that I was all wired up with everything going on in my body because I found him so frustrating. So he was someone who I believe was speaking to me through all the people that were around me in the room. And he was totally a figure of my imagination. He wasn't actually there. And he is someone who I think is like a guardian angel in a way, and someone who supports people that are going through something like that in intensive care. But he was definitely someone who I will never forget. The day that I woke up is the day that he never came back.
Okay.
And the way that he didn't come back, that's how I think I brought myself out of what I was going through.
Okay. And what else did you experience while you were in the coma?
So something else that I saw was, I think because of all the drugs that I was on, the penicillin and everything else, and trying to basically get everything out of my body, I think your mind can do quite crazy tricks on your body.
Okay.
And I was hallucinating, and I was seeing random things. And although I was in a room maybe like this, I saw all these dimensions. And one of the dimensions that I'll never forget is there was a door, and this door opened up, and the people would always come in, they would lock it up, and it would stay open only for about a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really strange because it was these body bags that were going in and out, in and out.
And all of this is happening in your imagination.
Everything is happening in my imagination.
And this is your awareness in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's so many other stories. One of my aunties always came in, she always came to see me. And something that I always remember as well is there was some communication happening at the back of the room. And I feel like I was witnessing something that was deemed to be not nice for my auntie. So I wanted to tell her about this. And the whole time I just was trying to talk to her, but no one was listening to me, and no one was able to listen to what was going on. Mm-hmm. But it's because I wasn't actually communicating. I was communicating in my body, and I was seeing things that maybe I wanted to see. I'm not sure.
I mean, it just goes to prove that we are not the body.
No.
This is just complete proof that we are not our bodies, because the entire time you are having these experiences that not very many people can explain. I know we hear about them when people speak of near-death experiences and such, but it just goes once again to go against scientific studies or whatever we've been taught, that we are actually not our bodies. We are essentially pure awareness. 100%. And I just think this is amazing to be able to hear about this and to learn about this from someone who has gone through this experience, to kind of say, hey, we are awareness, and to share what's been happening. But you can continue with what you were seeing.
Yeah, so it was mind-blowing. I am a true believer that because I had all these things going on, as crazy as it sounds, of the body bags and the little boy who was anorexic and the discussion that was happening at the back of the room, part of it kind of kept me alive and kept me excited because I wanted to know more. It was like a movie that was going on in my head. Mm-hmm. And yes, it's not the most positive thing, but I think the amount of drugs that I was on when I'm in my induced coma, it kind of takes you on a wacky little story. And yeah, so going back to another story that I had, going back to the dimensions, the room was full of dimensions. And I, in a random point in time, was a full body cast. Okay, I had a cast from here to here, down to my legs, and I had to move and get through all these different dimensions to move around my house. The house that I was in during that time was actually my auntie's house. And I needed to get from where I was to go and see my auntie, because I had to tell her the story that was happening at the back of the room. So I wanted to make sure I was supporting her and helping her and making sure she knew that whatever discussion was happening at the back of the room, she had to know about this, because they were coming after her. And I sound crazy right now. But at the same time, the way that my body was in a full...
I just think it's important for everyone to understand that this is actually happening while you're in a coma.
Yeah.
Like, none of this is real.
No, none of it is real.
Right. Okay.
This is all make-believe. It is all my mind. Mm-hmm. And I am the most chilled, laid-back person who doesn't think about gossip or anything else. But the way that these stories were narrated in my head, and the way that I feel like the people in the room were talking through my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
It's what kept it alive and what kept it exciting. And I don't know,
And as you're experiencing and having this awareness, experiencing the stories, the different dimensions, take us to the moment when you started actually bringing yourself out of your coma.
So there was a discussion that happened with the doctor and my mum, and all the discussions I feel.
Are you aware of this discussion, or is this what you've been told?
I think people can believe whatever they need to believe during this time, because it's interesting, because mum had her discussions with the doctors next to me.
Okay.
And they either believed that I was listening or they believed that I wasn't.
Okay.
But the doctor told my mum that day, if I didn't wake up, they would have had to cut my throat and put a trachea inside.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor said, what we're going to do is we're going to ease the medication, and we're going to see if we can bring her out of her coma. And I believe in myself that I did not want that trachea in my throat. So that day when...
The power of the mind.
So what happened is mum, apparently, from what I've been told, was sitting next to my bed, and she was right there with me. The doctor was easing the medication, and that's when I started coming out.
Okay.
And started coming back to maybe the Samara that I am today.
Okay. Just hold that, and we'll discuss what you experienced when you actually did come out of your coma. What Samara experienced invites us to look beyond the idea that we are only the body, because even when the body was completely still, experience was still present. And that points us to something fundamental, that what we are is not dependent on the body. And that deepens the question, if we are awareness itself, what does that mean for how we understand healing? In the next episode, we'll explore what it was like for Samara to return and how an experience like this begins to integrate into everyday life. If something in you became clear in this conversation, stay with that. Let that awareness continue to be there. And if you feel called to go further, continue this journey with us and subscribe. We'll step in this together in the next chapter. Thank you.